engine is inspired by the BMW M60, the first V8 engine BMW produced since the 501 and the 502 series back in the 1950s, over 40 years earlier. While the M60 was used in many different BMW sedans, it was also used in the De Tomaso Guara, a rare and exotic Italian sports car showcasing the engine's versatility beyond the BMW lineup. Alright, so now I'm gonna try and make something out of this, and you will be able to see what I'm doing through a time lapse, but I will also stop and explain what I'm doing while I'm doing it. So enjoy. Another thing to add is that many cars look kind of goofy without a front license plate. So sometimes when I design a front end, I have to stop and think, what am I actually doing? This doesn't look right. And that's because, at least where I'm from, it's illegal to not have a front license plate. And so I'm so used to seeing it. The car gets a kind of uncanny valley feeling. So most of the time, you just need to place a front license plate. It will look somewhat better, I feel like. Even now, when you just have a bumper and a lower lip, it looks alright. But without it, it looks incomplete to me, I feel. I always place these things first. And another little detail is I always like to add the country's license plate where my imaginary brand is based in. Okay, I think it's finished. But there is one thing I just realized that I might want to add, and that is a sunroof that's openable. At first, let's change the glass so that you can see through. Alright, I'm quite pleased with the car. I think the front end looks amazing. It's really well made, I feel like. The side profile also looks great. I feel like the rear could use some retouching, I feel like, but for the moment it will suffice. Overall, does it look German? Well, if Toyota and BMW had a baby, maybe. The BMW E32 wasn't just about looks. It was the first BMW to feature traction control, known then as Automatic Stability Control or ASC. The early versions reduced wheel spin by cutting engine power, while later models went a step further by applying the rear brakes for even greater stability. The E32 also was the first production car in the world to feature xenon headlights. Rear passengers of the E32 were treated to comforts that were revolutionary at the time, including electronically adjustable seats, integrated telephone and fax machines, but also a wine cooler. The E32 was also one of the first cars to adhere to the famous gentleman's agreement between German automakers, limiting top speed to 250 km an hour or 155 miles per hour. This engine is inspired by the BMW M70 V12. The M70 was BMW's first ever V12, and it was produced from 1987 to 1996. It was also the first German 12-cylinder post-war automobile engine, predating the Mercedes-Benz M120 by 4 years and by Wag's W12 by 14 years. The BMW M70 V12 engine later evolved into high-performance variants under the S70 designation, bringing its V12 DNA into some of the most thrilling and exclusive vehicles ever created. The first evolution of the M70 was the S70 B56, a 5.6-liter version of the original V12. This engine was developed exclusively for the E31. Beyond their production models, this version also powered the BMW Nazca concept. Even years later, the twin-turbo version of the engine found its way into the very exotic symbol design Lavazza GTX-R. The second evolution of the M70 was used in the McLaren F1 supercar, and the third evolution was used only by BMW's racing divisions and was used in these cars.